Hey everybody, Mr. Hunt here. I told you that I would do some stuff about block scheduling. I know everybody just got through with their first week of their kids being online doing school, and things are kind of hectic. So I thought I'd share with you about block scheduling and what block scheduling is and how it's used. And I'm really a novice at it myself. I've taken a couple seminars, and block scheduling has always been talked about. So I'm really starting to delve into it myself. But I'll share with you what I know and what I kind of do. So everyone everyone needs to figure out their own way of blocking out time for high priority items. Otherwise, we just keep running into this busybody trap where we focus on one thing, and it just takes up all of our time. And it may or may not be a positive thing that takes up our time. And then we just end up becoming overwhelmed with this huge list of stuff that we have to do, thinking that we have no time to get it done. So block scheduling um, has specific start and end times for tasks. It blocks off time for each important tasks and sets start and end times for accomplishing each of those tasks. And I'll get a little bit more into that here in a little bit. Um, it also includes both professional and personal time. And now, for me, professional time is a lot of time that has to do with the school and maintaining the business and things like that. Personal time is obvious stuff like breaks for me and then family time and things like that. So professional time can include stuff like you want to do professional development. It can be whether you're going to school, things of that nature. And I'll talk a little bit more about that as we look at my schedule as well. So why do we need block scheduling? Well, there's a law, Parkinson's law. It says work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. So if I say, well, I've got all day to do this project, then it's definitely going to take you all day. So it's about using your time wisely. So when we use our time wisely, we need to look out for time vampires. Those things in our lives that are just will suck us up all of our time, and these items may or may not be important. And as you block schedule, you'll be able to find out what is and is not important. Some negative time vampires that we need to be aware of are, obviously binge watching TV, binge watching Netflix, things like scrolling through Facebook for next thing you know, 2 hours has gone by, and all you've been doing is posting TikTok videos or whatever the next social media thing is, and your time is gone and you can never get that time back. So we got to be careful of those time vampires. When you use block scheduling, um, it balances the urgent with the important. And the non-important. I guess I should have put that in there too. So sometimes there's urgent things that need to be done, and we got to put those early in the day on our schedule, and it kind of balances our life a little bit. We see our life laid bare on an Excel spreadsheet. We can really look at how we're spending our time. Um, let's see. Yeah, it helps us commit to showing up and taking action. So if I need to clean up the downstairs storage, and I set an hour from 9 to 10, well, I commit to myself that I'm going to show up at 9 and be there for an hour to clean up the storage. Now, if it doesn't all get all the way done, I can allocate another hour later, in another day in the week. But it keeps us on task, so that I don't spend. That storage could turn into a time vampire. Say I need to review the kids curriculum for the kids class and make sure that it's still on track and things are going good, and I know what drills me and Miss Conf are going to do. But I spend 6 hours on that storage and it becomes a time vampire, and now I am totally unprepared for the kids class. But versus spending an hour on that storage, getting some of it done, and then moving on to the next most important task, and and then allocating another hour another day in the week, eventually getting, setting a goal of having it done by Saturday morning or something like that, say, for instance. um, but as you do block scheduling, it forces you to be realistic with your time. It creates a log of what you've done and haven't done. You'll get a better feel for your life and what is urgent, important, and not important. You'll be able to better determine how long something is going to take and make better use of your time. As you become better at block scheduling, you become more efficient with your time as it is. So you'll just be able to find time where you thought there was none as you become more efficient with your day. So how do we get started? Um, we have to know what our goals are. And so you have to write down a list of what your goals are. And I encourage you to write down a list of what your daily tasks are too. What are some things that you need to get done? So along with the goals, looking back on the goals for a second, there's long-term goals and short-term goals. Okay, so you write it all down, and then you can prioritize it. You can see what you have to do in your daily day. As I was doing my block scheduling, I jotted down some notes. There's some things that I have left out, and I need to allocate some time on those. And as I go through my week, I'll see that there's other tasks that I do that I need to allocate time, just so that I can have an organized way to look at my life. And as you do that, that is planning ahead. You're making you're adding structure to your life, and as you know, things with good structure stand for a long time. Things with poor structure, that they get demolished. So having good structure in our life will really help us to navigate those tough times. Okay, so as you create your block scheduling, you want to schedule your for the most part, you want to schedule high priority items early in the day. Get them done early in the day, because if something urgent comes along and you can't take care of that high priority item in the morning, it comes along, well, then you can shift it to the afternoon and not have two high priority items and one of them just didn't get done. So for instance, if I have a presentation that has to be made, I'm going to schedule making that presentation early in the morning, and schedule some of the other stuff that could wait potentially in the afternoon. And so if one of my kids has to go to the hospital or something like that in the morning, well, then I can shift that high priority item to later in the day. And if something urgent happens in the afternoon, well, I've already got my high priority items taken care of first thing in the morning. It kind of gives you a little breath of a little breathing room, so to speak. So with speaking of breathing room, you want to take breaks. Okay, you have to schedule in breaks: snack break, mental break, TV break. Schedule in all your family time, schedule in lunch, dinner, breakfast, things like that, so that it's not all work and no play, right? So you have to schedule some of that stuff in. Some of the stuff on my calendar is business oriented, but it's also personal in nature, and I'll explain that as we look at my calendar. But you have to set up a system. I'm using Excel right now. I'm sure there's an app for it. Everybody says, there's an app for that. So I'm sure there's an app that you could use if you like to use technology. You just got to be careful about technology. I'm just going to look at my app for this. And next thing you know, 45 minutes has gone by and you've scrolled through to the end of Facebook. So just kind of got to be careful of that. Pen and paper is another way. Or pencil and paper may be better, so you can erase it, but you can create how you're going to block it out, and that way, if you feel more comfortable writing it out, then that's the way to do it as well. So with that being said, let's see here. Let me get out of this. Okay. Let me go back to it. I have a couple more slides. So blocking off time for each item, right? So block scheduling works. You take a specific part of time and you set from 9 to 10, or like for instance, when we look at my schedule, I've got like a half an hour set aside for a Spanish course that I'm taking. That's the time that I'm allocate for that. I've got a time that I'm reading through a book, The 12 Rules for Life. It's a really good book. I suggest you read it. But I got time set aside for that. But it's just not a list of things that I want to get done. It has specific start and end times. And if I don't get all the way done, well, I can make an annotation that I didn't get all the way done with this, kind of like a bookmark, right? And so I may have to make a note and adjust my block scheduling for later in the week. There's a time that I set aside, about 15 minutes, that I review the plan for the day in the morning, and I review it in the evening. So there's time set aside for me to adjust as needed if I need to. But it has specific start and end times. That way you don't get sucked into a time vampire and only end up getting one thing maybe done and 3 things not even started or looked at. So I think, all right, so let's see. So let me go to my block scheduling. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so sorry about that. I kind of had a little technical issue there. But here is how to start, right? So we want to write down to-do list and prioritize that to-do list. And so I kind of talked about that a little bit with the personal and professional goals. But having a list, I started doing my block scheduling, and I did not have a list, and so it just sitting there trying to think about things was difficult. So I encourage you to brainstorm first, and then start plugging stuff in. And as you do it, you might remember some things that you need to put in there. Jot them down on the list, and just keep on going through. So make sure you include your personal items. Okay. Those are just as important with any professional items that you have. So it includes both, and don't forget family time as well. And then personal growth items, that can be anything from you've always wanted to read this book, you've always wanted to take a foreign language course, you've always wanted to do this or that. So those personal growth items are important as well. Now we'll go ahead and take a look at how I did my block scheduling. All right, let me get the screen a little bit bigger here. Okay, so here's my block schedule, and here's how I kind of sorted things out. I can send you or I'll upload a copy of this so that you can kind of see what I've done. But over here, let's see if I can get there. We go. Over here on the side, I have I started doing a list of stuff that I do, and stuff that I want to include on there, and I kind of color coded it. I'm still working on updating mine with the color code, but I see where I have my wake up time, and there's even I've got to adjust this because on Wednesdays here I have a coaching call at 6 in the morning, so I've got to fix that. But you can see I put in some personal items, like there's my reading time. I take that Spanish course. Starting to work on some blog items, so I allocated time on that. Whereas if I didn't allocate time to work on the blog, I may never get to it. Right? I've always wanted to, and just other things have gotten in the way. So I just allocate time for it. When I'm done reading, I'll take a break, and then I'll work on that blog for an hour. I have these in 15-minute blocks. Just seem to work a little bit better for me. You can adjust the times over here and make them half an hour blocks if you want, or hour. But I wanted a little bit more flexibility to be able to do it with my breaks and stuff like that. So some personal stuff that so this is what I was talking about, some things that like I review Kali and CLOC curriculum. While that is certainly part of the school, and knowing that adding new curriculum and stuff like that, that's also a personal personal journey of mine, reviewing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu curriculum, stuff that I want to do there, Jeet Kune Do curriculum. That's all personal growth stuff for me that bleeds into the school as well. But I have in here like reviewing the kids curriculum. That's all the from the early skills all the way through the Dragon Warrior Advanced. I put in here like organizing my office, right? Because I need to keep up on that. Otherwise, I'm never going to want to use my office. And I got dinner in there. The classes that we're currently doing, of course, this will all change as soon as we're able to open up. I'll have to revamp this a little bit, but I got my walking the dogs in there because the dogs still need attention, and I've still got to plug that in a couple places. So I was trying to wait till I had this all the way done, but it's a work in progress. It's things that I thought of while I was doing this was like updating the website. It's pretty easy to add in. Like I've got to change this. I can insert a row in there, right? Because on Wednesdays, I'm going to have to wake up a little bit earlier because my coaching call is from 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. to 6:30 ish with my business coach. So I've got to wake up 5:45 or whatever on that day. So to get ready for that. But you see where like we do classes on Tuesday and I've got to process the class videos. That takes a little bit of time, so I've got to put that in there. Forces me to get done in that hour there, forces me to work a little bit better, more efficiently. But here I can see everything that I do, everything that I need to do. As far as I want to do some more recording, some videos for the Dragon Warriors especially. I got a meeting in here that I have with Ms. Confer. I mean, I could just go on and on. There's right now, as I'm doing this video, I'm writing down some things that I need to include into this. But you can see the basic framework. You can there's a tab here for the weekly task list. So you can start. I haven't updated this for me yet, but here it's pretty cool. You can put in what you estimate is going to take you. So like when I was doing the slideshow, I talked about cleaning out the storage unit. So if the storage unit is really messy or whatever, I can put in there clean storage unit, right? And 1 hour, maybe it'll take me, maybe the total is 5 hours, but I can't spend 5 hours in one day cleaning that storage unit. So I'm going to put 1 hour and then times 3 days or times 5 days or whatever, and that's going to give me 5 hours that I've got to dedicate in that week. And whoops, maybe I want to estimate what I'm going to work, right? So this is based off of a work week. Now I'm retired, so I don't have a 40-hour work week. So I can play that around and how much time do I want to estimate that I'm going to use in my time for each week that I'm going to do stuff. So it'll total it all up for you. But there's a blank one in here, and you can do that and put borders in there for you. But so this is the one that I started using. So anyway, I ramble on forever, but I just wanted to give you guys an option, or something that might help you with block scheduling, might help you organize a little bit better. Especially some of you have several kids doing online courses because of the school shifted online, but you're still working from home, or you're still got schooling, or you've just got a bunch of kids that are all doing this stuff, and you've still got to maintain a home. With all of the tasks that go along with that. So you can put in anything you want with this. The sky's the limit. I hope it helps you a little bit. If you have any questions or want any help, I'm certainly not an expert at this, but I would be happy to help you. I would be happy to help you and get where you need to go. So If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. Appreciate it. Thanks.